Good morning, children. Today we are going to cover the agriculture from geography, and in the last class we have done the crop and its division. Now, in today's class, we will do the reform. So, the reforms can be classified into two categories, that is the institutional reform and the technological reform. In the institutional reform, for better understanding, we can understand that it is a reform basically which had taken place at the time just after the British rule. So in this, the collectivization is there, the consolidation of the holdings. In the collectivization, it means the redistribution of the land, and consolidation of the holdings. It means that to bring together the scattered land of different farmers and to form a single holding, and it was basically the result of hereditary system, as we have seen, in which the person is having four, suppose it is having four children. So this a person, the land of this a person will be divided into a1, a2, a3 and a4, this way, and it means so on. So it will be by this, the land holdings, the area is become shorter and shorter. So this is also the problem for the agriculture. Next is cooperation and abolition of the jamindari system. As we know that jamindari system was a very widely spread in the India and in the early time just after the British rule. But this was also there, that abolition of the jamindari system, in which the jamindar were holding the land area of the poor people. So this was also the problem. So as we know that Indian economy is completely based on agriculture. India has a agriculture based economy. So according to that, government has to focus for the development of the agriculture. So these are the technological reforms which has been introduced by the government, or we can say the policies or the schemes which is introduced by the government, that will come under this category. So in this, first is KCC, that is Kisan Credit Card, that is a personal accident insurance scheme, and this is also for the farmers of the India. Then we have the special weather bulletin, special weather bulletin, as we know, though we are having the irrigation method, but then also the Indian agriculture dependent on the monsoon. So for this, if the farmers are getting the correct information related to the monsoon, then it will be easy for them to maintain the crop. After that, we have the MSP, that is minimum support price. This is also given by the government, and it is basically a kind of support by which the government is providing in the installment for suppose for purchasing the seeds. Then after that, so at the sown timing, after that fertilizers, then pesticides, then after that irrigation, and then harvest. So in this way, the money for the particular time the government is providing. It is a minimum support price. It was all before the crop is shown. Before that, it was decided by the government. Then we have the subsidizing input cost. So subsidizing input cost, in the subsidizing input cost, providing water, power and fertilizers subsidized to decrease the production cost. So it is basically to decrease production cost. To decrease production cost. Then we have the Green Revolution. Green Revolution, in this, it is very you must be heard a lot of about the Green Revolution. This was started in 1960s, and at the time of Indira Gandhi. And in the starting, when the Britishers were there, and they approximately Firstly, they ruled over the country about 200 years. So in that, the country, the land area of the country, they were pressurizing the land people, the farmers, to cultivate indigo, and because of that indigo cultivation, the land of the fertility, the land loses its fertility. So at the time, the India was not capable to even fulfill the needs of its citizen. Then it was observed that it is a kind of revolution is required in the agriculture, so that at least we can grow some amount, the better amount of grain, so that we can fulfill the needs of the citizen. Because earlier we were importing the grains from the outside of the country. It means we were importing. So, but after when we introduced the green revolution, like HYVCs, fertilizers and pesticides. So after the green revolution, India not only became the self-dependent, even it started exporting also. And now at present we are standing at the first rank in many crops. After that, the government also provided subsidizing the output price. In the subsidizing output price, through this minimum support price and public procurement were there. After that, Kusum scheme and PM Kisan. These are the latest scheme which is introduced by the government. In this, if you will focus on the Kusum scheme, so Kusum scheme is launched by the MNRE, that is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. They have launched the Kusum scheme. Kusum, if you will see, that is PM Kusum. PM Kusum. So in this PM Kusum, that is Prime Minister Kisan, K stands for Kisan, U stands for Urja, and here S stands for Suraksha, Evam Utthan Mahabhiyan. That is the full form of Kusum scheme. It is for the installation of the solar pump and grid connected solar and other renewable power plants. So this was basically is to provide the power supply on the basis of the solar. So in this government installing the solar panels in the villages, so that the farmer can be benefited by this. Then we have the it consists three components. For component A, component B and component C, in which if you will focus in component A and C, they are implemented in pilot mode until 31st December 2019. But here this B, component B is going on project. What will be the benefit if the Kusum scheme, what are the benefits the farmers are getting with the help of the Kusum scheme? It is, they will get a stable and continuous source of, it is a continuous and stable source of income. So next is the PM Kisan. So PM Kisan, the full form of the PM Kisan is Prime Minister Kisan Samman Nidhi. That is the full form of PM Kisan. It was the first universal basic income type scheme. It was targeted at the small and medium farmers, but now it was extended to all in May 2019. What are the aims of this PM Kisan? So the aims are mainly, there are the two aims, that is first is enabling the direct transfer to the farmer, and second is digitization of records. And in this advantages, if you will see what are the advantages of applying the PM Kisan scheme. So that was the first is, it is non-discriminatory in nature. It is not non-discriminatory in nature, it means it will not be biased. Then adding modernization, as the digitization is there, so it is modernization is there. The people, the farmers now they are having the modern technique they are utilizing for keeping the records. Then turning farmer competitive. When there is an addition in the modernization, there will be no discrimination. Then when they are getting the such type of benefits, so definitely the competitiveness among the farmers will improve, and definitely when there is a competition, then definitely there the quality is improving. So quality, where the quality will improve, wherever it is the competition, then definitely the quality will improve. Then next is easing the liquidity constants. It means the farmer, mainly the farmer, they are depending on the informal sources. So, but here here the government is providing a kind of support to them so that they can in the credit, so that they will not be dependent on the informal source. In place of that informal sources, they should be take easily loan from the formal sources. Now children, next is Bhudan Ramdan. Bhudan Ramdan is also known as the land gift movement, and this was it was started by Vinoba Bhave, and Mahatma Gandhi also called him as his hero. He started in 1951, so it was at the time of after the British rule. So it will also comes under the that is the institutional reform. Then it was started at Pochampalli, but at present it is in Telangana. That time it was here in this area. So it was influenced by the Gandhiji's Sarvodaya movement, and women carried it all the parts of the country. Earlier it was only limited to the particular area, but now but after that, the women, they have played a very important role in this for circulating, for carried it out in the all other parts of the country also. So in this, what is the basically the Bhudan Ramdan? What is there in this? The wealthy landowners, they had to give their land voluntarily. They have to give their land, the some percentage of their land, to the poor landless people. Some percentage of their land. As in this, the wealthy people, wealthy landowners, they did also. So this revolution is also called as the Blood Lands Revolution. So now children, thank you. I hope everything, whatever I explained today, is clear to you. Thank you.